Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of Casual Chaos. This week I have a very exciting guest, Kit Keenan. Welcome to Casual Chaos.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're here. You're actually one of my first influencer guests.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, fun. I'm honored,
I know.
honestly.
I'm excited. I've been wanting to have one of my influencer friends on for so long and honestly just talk about our life and what we do and how we make our own money and what we do for work, because I feel like there's a lot of talk about it.
Yeah, and also I feel like there's a lot of misunderstanding around it.
I agree. I totally agree. So you are definitely a part of the New York Influencing group, and you guys received a lot of backlash this year. How did you handle all of that?
I feel like there was a lot of discourse this year around like the New York City influencer scene, but from my perspective, like I have grown up in this world, and when I was in high school, the New York City influencer scene was so different because it was like the blogger era. So it was something navy and we wore what, and like those girls that started the fashion blogs, and that was what being an influencer was. It was being a blogger. And over time, that has developed. And like when I moved back, I went to college in LA. And when I moved back to New York, there was this whole explosion of like the TikTok world. And that created kind of the next generation of New York City influencers. And from my experience, like I have just met the most supportive and great girls. And I feel so lucky because when I was living in LA, it was not like that. Like the influencer scene in LA was definitely not as like supportive and community based as it is in New York. So yeah, I feel like there's always people like trying to stir the pot and create tea and all of that. But like from my personal experience, I have so many close friends in the space, and I feel so lucky that it's not like a dog eat dog world and that it is very supportive. So that's been my experience, and I can like only really speak on that.
Yeah, no. And even when all of that was going around, I'm sitting there like, well, I also do this content. And it's just like kind of what we're all focused on in our daily life. We are showing everyone what we do on a day-to-day basis, how we go about our mornings or how spend a day in my life. And that's genuinely the content that I enjoy watching. Not even if it's just my content, but even if I'm watching your cooking videos or if I'm watching Acquired Styles Spend the Morning with Me. Those are videos that I genuinely enjoy watching on a day-to-day basis and that resonate with me. So no matter what, everyone's going to have their opinion, and I think we all do a pretty good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, you've met all of my girls.
Yes.
Like, everyone is so, like, welcoming and nice and cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel very lucky, honestly.
No, definitely. So let's start from the beginning. Were you born and raised in New York City?
Born and raised in New York City. Yeah, so I went to USC for a year and a half in Southern California, and I lived in LA then, transferred back, finished at NYU, and then I moved back to LA after college because I was kind of thinking like maybe I just didn't love LA in college because I was in college and like I didn't really have my bearings and whatever, and I wanted to give LA like a good try. And so I moved back for a year, and I still like didn't feel at home there. But other than that, like I've lived in New York City my whole life. I feel like it's just so hard to leave. And my mom is such a New York woman. Like she will never leave New York City. So, and on my dad's side, they're third generation Brooklyn New Yorkers. So like that whole side of my family is also New York City people. Like they will never leave. So I feel like for me, I just have my roots here, and it's so hard to leave. And you know that quote that's like, when you leave New York, you're going nowhere. That is so just like hits for me because I feel like I've traveled all over the world, but my heart will always be in New York City.
I also feel like it's kind of like me. You can't take the girl out of Jersey.
Yep.
And I'm slowly transitioning to make my move closer to the city, which I'm so excited about. But I'm looking in the Jersey City, Weehawken, Upper Hoboken area.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's perfect for me.
I have so many influencer friends who live in that area
Yeah.
because like there's great buildings with amazing natural light,
Oh,
which
yeah.
we all are looking for.
Yeah.
And it's like close enough to the city that you can go to events and like do that whole thing, but also have your peace,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. Every apartment building that I call, they're like, what are you looking for? I go, modern apartment, amazing views, natural light, and just an easy commute to the city.
Yeah.
And those buildings in that area pretty much have that. And what I would get for my money in those areas is just so much more than what I would get in New York.
Yeah.
And it's so worth it because I don't have a timeline. I don't have an end date where my mom is like, you need to get out of the house. So
Wait, you live at home now?
I live at home.
Okay, I live at home.
Okay. So
Love that for us. Literally love that for us.
Love that.
That is so funny. We need to talk about that because like I feel like I have so many people that are like, when are you going to move out? And honestly, like I've been thinking about it because I've been working since I was 18. Like
Same.
I'm ready now to buy an apartment in New York.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, it's so nice living at home.
It's so nice living at home.
Yeah.
I get scrutinized every single day.
Same.
And they're like, oh, you're living off mommy's money. This is what you're doing. You're living at home. Oh, mommy's paying your bills. And I'm like, only if you knew. Like that car insurance payment runs on my debit card every 3 months. You know, just the little things where it's obviously people are going to talk and people are going to judge. But if I can live at home and save my money, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I am on the show Next Gen NYC.
Yeah, obsessed.
Thank you. But it's crazy because I felt pressured, but I also knew that it is the right time for me to move out just because commuting from Jersey is a lot, especially when we have a bunch of events. I'll come into the city like right now to do my podcast, and then after this I have an Amazon Live. Then I'll have 3 to 4 hours like in between my Amazon Live or in between my podcast and events where I don't know what to do. And I'm just like walking around the city, not that you're never bored, but you know, I can't go home to refresh myself or like get changed because the commute's too much. I would be stuck in traffic. And that's where things would get inconvenient for me because the commute would be too much and I would either miss events or literally do it twice in a day.
Yeah.
Like I would come in, go home, change, and then come back. So it just became exhausting. And now being on Next Gen, all of my castmates live on their own, whether they are supporting themselves or, you know, they're having the help of their parents, whatever it is, they all do live on their own. And I was the only one living at home. So, and it was almost this like, oh, she lives in Jersey and it's a far commute for her to come to New York. When I was like, I'm in the city every day.
Yeah.
It's more so it was exhausting and I want to try to make my life a little easier and optimize what's in New York and be able to go to everything that I want to go to. So I think that's why at this point in my life, I'm like, okay, I kind of need to make that move. And you probably totally understand it. We could be going to 4 events a night, just bopping around trying to show your face at each event. So it's definitely a lot if you're not in this area.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, as much as I could stay at home until I get married, I feel like
that's literally
the right decision for me right now.
I am like in that same exact boat. I'm like, should I just like wait until I move in with my boyfriend to like move out of my mom's house?
Yeah.
But I also feel like it's like a good investment always. And I just think that like it forces you out of your comfort zone a little bit in a way that I think will be really great for me. I just need to like wait until I find the perfect place and all of that.
Of course.
But it's nice to not have that pressure, you know?
Yeah.
So
is it just you?
just me, my mom, and I have a younger sister who's 20.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you
So
guys
it's our
really
little
close?
sorority house, we call it.
Well, because you guys are pretty close in age, though. I mean,
We're 5 years apart.
okay.
But my little sister Gigi is like my best friend in the
Yeah.
entire world. And yeah, when we were little, I feel like the 5-year age difference really made such a difference.
Oh,
and
yeah.
she felt so young to me. And I was like, we're not homies like that. And then I think once she turned 18, it was like, okay, we're like doing similar things in life. And like, I feel like we're in the same chapter. She did the same thing for college where she like went away for a year and a little bit and like went abroad for a bit and then came back and transferred to NYU. So like same situation as me. And we're just so similar. Like I feel so lucky to say that if me and my sister weren't sisters, we would be friends. And I feel like that's not the case for that many people, but like genuinely in my situation, I would want to be friends with my little sister if we weren't related, which is
and I
so
think that's
lucky.
kudos to your mom, too.
Yeah, yeah.
So your mom is Cynthia Rowley. Explain how that was growing up. Were you like her little doll and she just dressed you all the time growing up?
I mean, you can probably like relate to a lot of this, like having a mom that's in the public eye. And it's funny because I get that question specifically about like my mom dressing us a lot. And
I mean, my mom did that to me and she wasn't even a fashion designer. So.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about it is that like she actually was so free with what we wore. And I think it was honestly because she sees like clothing and design as personal expression.
Yeah.
And so she was really like, wear whatever you girls want to wear. And I definitely had like some really questionable outfits. And when I was little, I remember there was one year that I wore a birthday crown every single day for an entire year because like I loved getting the attention from people, like wherever we would go, people being like happy birthday and like sending me treats and stuff. I literally wore that crown every single day. And I remember like my sister wore a SpongeBob life jacket to her first day of kindergarten. Like, and my mom was just like, yeah, like this is their expression. Like they should be able to wear whatever they want. And so, yeah, that was nice. The only thing I will say though is like we had access to a lot of cool clothes. And so that helped our outfit choices as we got older, I think, because like we were always, you know, around her closet and like stealing things from her. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the inspo is unreal.
Yeah.
You can just have endless options at all costs.
Yeah.
Was that, I mean, was she who she was like before you were born? I know this is.
Yeah. I mean, she like has always been who
like,
she
when
is.
did she start like designing clothes?
Like in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
Like a long time ago. Yeah. And I feel like she's had like so many different eras of her business. But I think also like in recent years, it's been cool for me to see and incorporate like what I do with social media and kind of like help her I don't want to say like advise her in that space because she was always like, I feel like she was one of the first designers to be like, I want to see influencers at my shows and stuff like that. And she's always been like very open to that idea. But I would say like having me doing what I do has also helped inform like her social presence and like how her business is interacting with influencers.
Oh, yeah. Even just the social media aspect, like you showing her trends and how to work TikTok. Yeah. Literally the smallest things. Funny. And that's what I do with my mom.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, Gia, can we do this? But can you show me how to add music to this? And it's all a learning game for them too. Mm-hmm. And that's what I do with my mom, even though like they're the legends that they are in their own ways. Mm-hmm. to teach our moms how to work TikTok and social media.
Yeah.
That didn't come to them.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, exactly.
What is the best and worst part about living with a fashion icon?
I mean, I think probably the worst part, like, growing up for me was just, like, the idea of living in my mom's shadow, kind of, and just feeling like I was lost for a lot of my childhood because my mom found, like, she started making dresses for herself when she was 7 years old, like, laying down on a piece of fabric on the floor, tracing around her body, and, like, sewing a dress to wear to school. Like, she has always had this passion from such a young age, and she has built it into this global brand, and it's been, like, so amazing to watch that and have her as an inspiration to me growing up. But I think I was always like, what do I want to do? Like, I didn't have that same calling. And so, like, throughout my childhood, I was always like, people would always ask me, are you going to take over your mom's business, or, like, do you want to work in fashion and whatever? And I feel like I've always had this appreciation for what she does and for clothes in general. Like, I love getting dressed. I love, like, sharing that also with my audience and, like, making that a part of my personal brand. But for me, like, the fashion industry was I never felt called to it. And, like, genuinely, some events and stuff like that would, like, give me a lot of anxiety growing up. And so then when I was in college, I was, like, sharing my life on Instagram already, and I was kind of, like, building a smaller audience just, like, based in New York and LA. And I started just, like, cooking for my friends and family, and it became a passion of mine, and I would, like, share things on Instagram stories here and there and, like, get in the DMs and share recipes and stuff.
Your recipes look insane. Like, I really want to come over.
Yeah, please, 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 please. Like, let me cook for you. But, like, I guess I slowly realized over time that, like, my audience was interested in that content, and it was something that I felt always like it was a part of my calling, and, like, it was that same process that my mom describes with fashion design, where it's like you have an idea and you get to bring something to life, and, like, you get to add your sparkle to it. And I felt like, oh my gosh, this is my creative calling. Like, this is my creative outlet that I've been searching for. And then, like, being able to share that with an audience that I had already been growing was so fulfilling. And now it's, like, the biggest part of my online presence and what I see for my future in this space.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that was, like, I took that question all over the place.
No,
but
I totally understand.
Like, that was the harder thing growing up.
Yeah.
Was just, like,
well, it's also just the pressure of, are you going to do this? And just like you were saying, okay, are you gonna take over your mom's company, and it's gonna be this generational thing? And no matter what your mom's company is, will always stand strong. But I mean, I feel like as much as the pressure of you taking it over, it's also the pressure within yourself of, do I really want to always have that pressure of living under her shadow, or maybe not doing it the way she did it and having that whole pressure? And I mean, it was kind of the same, like, different, obviously, different scales, but even me coming on to reality TV and people just always assuming that I'm like a mini Teresa, which that's amazing in different aspects. But, my mom is Teresa Giudice standing on her own. I would never be able to be Teresa Giudice. I could never flip a table and be an icon for like 20 years. Or like, she's like, she's an outstanding icon in the reality TV space. And I want to build that within me and not people just assume, oh, this is like a mini Teresa in the making. Like, no, I want to really show you guys who I am. And I think that's the constant battle that we will always kind of find with ourselves as we're trying to also just show our audience who we really are. So as much as I love filming content with my mom and doing all of that, because she obviously is my mom. She's so funny. She is the person that I look up to. But there's just, I guess it's just the public that really causes all the stress and ourselves, but we don't make that too public.
Yeah, exactly.
But you posted a video when your mom was like saving your clothes, and that went viral. That was like crazy.
Yeah.
So she just like can do anything on hand.
So, I mean, this is also, I think, something that people don't really consider anymore, because to be a fashion designer now, like, you don't really have to have the skill of making clothes and sewing. You can be a fashion designer and, you know, make CADs with AI and send it to a factory and have those samples made. Like, you don't need to have the actual skill of cutting and sewing and creating patterns and like the skills that you used to have to be a fashion designer.
Yeah.
But since my mom has been doing this for so long, she has all those skills.
She can make something out of nothing.
like she has made so many special pieces for me, like my prom dress, and like she'll redo vintage items for me and have them fit me perfectly and like stuff like that. And I always say
That's
I have
so
a personal
cool.
tailor, which is like so nice. And obviously she's like way more important than that in
obviously.
my life. But like she does have all of those skills, which is really cool, because she can take something like, you know, a vintage piece from her closet, or, you know, something that I find on eBay or like something like that, and make it something super special and like give it a new life for me. But I also just like love seeing her go through that process, because like she'll add her little touches to things and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. Like,
I mean, it's sick.
Yeah.
And just like you were saying, it's kind of crazy because it also just shows your appreciation for her that much more. The fact that she could actually turn something out of nothing, and she genuinely can design and create something beautiful, when now it's just crazy the world that we live in, that everything can be done and created on AI and through a machine, and you don't even have to do any work at this point.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
No, it's crazy.
It's wild. Okay, well, let's talk about your time on The Bachelor with Matt James. What made you want to go on The Bachelor?
So I think still to this day I was the youngest person to ever be on The Bachelor.
Yeah. How old were you?
And I was 21.
Oh, wow.
And it was just like the type of thing where I was doing online classes because of COVID, and I got a DM from like this random account. It literally had 800 followers, and all the posts on the account were like Bachelor related casting stuff. And the woman reached out to me and she was like, hey, like I would love to, you know, just get you on a Zoom. We're casting for a new reality dating show. And I was like, like I wonder what this is about, but also like it could so be like a scam or something.
Yeah,
like
no.
800 followers on this random account. Like, what am I doing? But I ended up meeting with her and going through the whole process. And I feel like it was just the type of thing where I was thinking to myself, like, I'm 21. I'll never do something like this again in my life, you know? Like, it was just like something at the time that I was thinking of in a lighthearted way. And again, I probably should have like considered it a little bit more, because it could have gone so in the opposite direction, and like you see people's entire careers like ruined by reality TV. But lucky for me, like it wasn't that bad. I got a good edit, as they will say in the industry, but I feel like I just wanted to take a risk, and I feel like I had been sort of in this bubble of like New York City, the fashion scene kind of, and I was just like, I want to do something that takes me out of that world and like something that's really on my own, because like as much as people will always tie me to my mom and my family, I feel like doing something that was just so unexpected and like in fact my mom was like, what are you doing? I feel like it was kind of my rebellious stage a little bit. And again, it was just something that like I knew I would not have done later in life, and it was just like let me just do this now and see what happens.
I mean, it was also probably like you were saying when you were trying to like find yourself.
Yeah.
So you were probably just like, let me do something that makes me be seen and makes me step out of my comfort zone and do something that people wouldn't expect from Cynthia Rowley's daughter. You know what I mean? And it's
like some people get piercings, some people go like backpacking, some people go get a tattoo, and some people go on reality TV.
Yeah. Did you get what you wanted out of it?
Honestly, like I was so surprised. Like I look back on that experience and I am like, oh my gosh, that was a fever dream.
Would you ever do it again?
Like now I have a boyfriend, so not a dating show, but I would definitely do reality TV again. It just like depends on if it's the right setting for me and stuff, and I would like want it to be something that would tell a little bit more of my story.
Next Gen MIC?
Yeah, maybe. Honestly, my dream. Hello. Yeah, so I think like for me, it was such a surprising experience because when I got there, I was like, this is kind of a joke. And again, like, I was just like, okay, like, this is a guy that is 28. He lives in New York. Like, I probably would have gone on a date with him at the time. Like, 21, I was dating around, like, whatever. And I got there and I was like, yeah, but I probably won't actually like him. And then over time, I think it's partially because you're just in this bubble where, like,
it's almost like you're in like a simulation.
No, literally. Yeah. And like everyone around you is like, this is the best guy ever. Like we all want him, blah, blah, blah. And then you kind of like get convinced over time. And like, also like I had like good conversations with him and like I felt like we vibed also. So that added to the confusion a little bit. But I think like in the back of my mind, always I was like, this is still a show. Like we're still putting on a show. Like let's keep that in the back of my mind. But people definitely get swept up in it for sure.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When the season was going on, because obviously he ended up with Rachel, and now this whole thing happened between him and Rachel, and it was all over because then after The Bachelor, they were also in the influencing world and really like, and were very successful with their TikToks and everything like that. Have you ever seen them around at events? And
I'm still friends with Rachel and I genuinely love her, like, and want the absolute best for her. And we've been friends like when they were together too. So I feel like just like after the show, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, technically we all dated your boyfriend, but like at the same time, it, again, like I think it's coming back to reality and being like, okay, that was a show.
Yeah.
Like nothing happened.
Of
like
course.
It's totally fine. And I just like always thought that she was such a great girl. And still do. I haven't really seen him, honestly. And
I've
I think
actually seen him at a couple events.
Okay.
Like over the past year. Any of the red flags that were obviously known now.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever feel that when you guys were filming?
Like it was so long ago at this point, and I feel like I was so much like, I don't know, like I just didn't see it at the time. And I think like,
well, like you said, you're all gagging over this guy.
Yeah, like
so there's like
foaming at the mouth for him. Like absolutely
so
obsessed.
You're not like looking, oh, is that a red flag? Or, you know, little things like that where when obviously Rachel became open about talking about it, I guess it could totally be understandable like what he was doing and how that could have been, like how that was happening during their relationship.
I feel like everyone can relate to that idea that you like are dating someone and like in the moment you're so obsessed with them and like all of their red flags just go right over your head.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, you look back, like, years later when you're healed or just, like, on to, like, when you're in a healthy relationship and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I normalized that behavior.
Yeah.
Like, that was so whack. But in the moment, you just, like, don't see it.
You don't see it. You're so blind to it.
Yeah.
But I'm happy she's doing great. Hope he's doing good too.
Yeah.
Did your guy friends view you differently after The Bachelor?
I mean, to be honest, like, I don't really have that many guy friends. Like, I feel
have
like
a handful, so I can relate.
I have, like, a few, but, like, I've always been this way. Like, I'm just a girls girl. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I, like, genuinely, until, like, I started dating my boyfriend, men were, like, so foreign to me.
Yeah.
And I just, like, I love girling around and, like,
Yeah.
hanging with the girls. So I have, like, a few guy friends and, like, family guy friends and stuff like that I remember people being like, huh, that's interesting. But yeah, I feel like no one really questioned it that much because I feel like I was already on social media and kind of, like, doing that whole thing.
Yeah.
That it made sense at the time.
No, yeah, I get it. I mean, even with my boyfriend, his friends are my friends.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
like I don't have, like, anyone else who I would call up and be like, hey, like, no,
Yeah.
it's my boyfriend's friends.
Yeah.
And I, like, don't. Like, it's different. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I guess the only time I've actually had guy friends was probably in high school.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, your friend group. But then I started dating my boyfriend, and then I guess in college too a little bit. But once I started dating my boyfriend, all those guy friends kind of went out the window,
Yeah.
and now his friends are my friends. So definitely a different aspect of guy friends.
Yeah.
Do you regret anything from the show?
Honestly, no, because I feel like there were certain moments where, like, maybe I lashed out a little bit, or, like, it was a little bit harsher
I want to
of
watch
commentary
Matt's season now.
and stuff like that. But I feel like people always say, like, the bad edit thing.
Yeah.
But the thing about that is, like, they can't make you do anything that you don't want to do. So, like, any bad edit that you get is just, like, things that you actually did.
Yeah.
Or things that you actually said. And, like, I don't know. I just feel like you have to stand on that, you know? Like, maybe I made some mistakes and have apologized for those things. But at the end of the day, like, that's genuinely how I felt in that moment based on the information I was given. So, yeah, I think you just have to stand on it. If you make mistakes, you apologize and move on, you know?
You have to just own your shit
Yeah.
at that point. I know. Now you do have a boyfriend, and you guys are long distance. Can you tell me a little bit about him?
Yeah. So I actually met my boyfriend in college at USC. He's from London, but he went to college in the States. And it's so funny because he, like, went to an all-boys boarding school growing up, and he, like, got to America, and he was, like, in college, like, in a frat, being, like, living his best life, you know? And when I met him in college, I was like, this is not for me. Like, I don't want a frat boy. Like, I don't want, like, that vibe. And then years and years later, like, we reconnected. He says that he, like, DM'd me a million times on Instagram, and I did not notice that. But I always, like, thought he was cute and would see him around because we have a few mutual friends. And then he was like, hey, you know, can I take you on a date, like, months ago? And I was just like, you know what? Like, let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Because I always, like, thought he was cute or would have conversations with him here and there, like, if I would see him out. And yeah, I just, like, I'm genuinely so happy. We've been together now for, like, a little over a year and a half, and, like, I am just so, I feel like I found my person. Like, I feel so happy. So
Does he
there's hope.
live in the States?
No, he lives in London still.
Oh, okay.
But
How is
he's
doing
moving to
that?
New York.
No
It's just
way.
like it's been such a long process of him like moving here. But I love visiting London, so it's like not the end of the world,
Yeah.
you know.
How often do you see him?
Um like every few weeks we try to do
Oh, that's
because
amazing.
I'll go there, he'll come to New York or his dad lives in St. Bart's, so we can meet
Oh, that's beautiful.
there, which is like close.
Yeah. Wait, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
then now he's making his move to New York.
Yes, I'm so happy.
Is he
literally
doing
so
that like
happy.
on his own, or is this like maybe you're calling to move out?
I feel like at 26, I'm like, okay, I need still some time before we move in together. Like, I'm going to take my time with
Yeah.
that, I feel like. Because, again, like, I've never lived, besides, like, when I lived in LA for a year, like, I've never lived really alone. And I've
Yeah.
never lived alone in New York. And I feel like I need that era of, like, being
Well,
in my own space.
I totally agree with you. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I'm moving alone
Mhm.
at first. And then eventually my boyfriend is going to come move in with me and we'll figure out when that time is right. But at least, you know, for now, I'm moving like next month. So at least for right now, I'm doing this chapter alone right now and I'm excited for it. I can't wait to just like be alone and really navigate that because I'm definitely going to be scared. Just the thought of sleeping alone.
Yeah.
Like no matter
No, I
what,
get it.
somebody is in the house.
Yeah. No, I
And
so
now
get
I'm
that.
going to be alone and I'm
Yeah.
like terrified.
Yeah.
So
But I think that's like important for self growth for sure.
100%.
And like I feel like I don't get the whole like when people are asking questions like pressuring like when are you guys going to move in or when are you going to get engaged or like any of that. Like I don't understand that because when you see someone as like your life partner or someone that you want to spend like be in a long-term relationship with, like I don't have that pressure of rushing because I'm like, oh, we'll just do that down the line. Like,
yeah.
we'll just like do those things eventually. And I don't feel that like anxiety or pressure about like rushing things along
I
because
don't either. And we're still in our 20s.
Yeah.
We're still so young.
Yeah.
But it's more so like the public opinion.
Yeah.
My boyfriend gets DMs and just sees comments on my page like engaged yet?
Yeah.
When are you guys going to move? And but even on Next Gen, it's like when are you guys moving in together?
Yeah.
And it's like the poor kid, just like let him breathe.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know if he wants to be in this world.
No, it's crazy.
Like the public world,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, because there's a lot of pressure with it, and it's a full adjustment. Like, does your boyfriend do TikToks with you and stuff? No.
No.
He's like nervous.
Yeah. I mean, he'll like, how do you navigate that?
So, I mean, I think the TikToks are the first hump that we kind of just got over.
Yeah.
And now Christian is becoming more comfortable filming TikToks with me or doing like, you know, the little trends you see of like the couples TikToks and stuff. But him being on reality TV actually gives him so much anxiety. And I obviously don't like I try to understand it as much as I can, but because I grew up on it since I was little, I'm just like, don't worry about it. Be yourself. I try to give him the best advice, but obviously going from not being in the public eye at all to then exposing yourself to the public where you can get so much scrutiny and just public opinion and backlash, and it's scary because to the normal person, nobody really wants to deal with that and add that stressor onto their plate. So he was on Next Gen a little bit, and everyone actually ended up loving him. And he looked amazing on season 1. And I was like, I want you to look amazing a million times over again. If maybe I look like this season, I don't care. As long as you look good and you're happy, that's all that I care about, because I would never want to see my partner like struggle with trying to bring him into my world, because I would feel responsible for that. So I think it's like I've been with him for 6 years now. So it's kind of like little baby steps. Like he was maybe for a scene or two on Real Houses in New Jersey. Then he made a couple like little cameos on Next Gen. And then with TikTok, I do videos here and there. So I think it's all about getting comfortable. And he's slowly been getting more and more comfortable, but then there's certain spots where he's like, okay, this makes me really nervous.
Yeah.
So I think it's like a whole like transition thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it, but then it's also, as much as it's hard for us to understand a little bit too, because we grew up in it and it was kind of our norm, but it's totally not their norm. So it's like, it is a transition thing.
Yeah. I think it's definitely like a balance, and like we've had so many conversations about it. Like me and my boyfriend have had so many conversations about it, and I just feel like for me, like he's never going to be a mainstay of my content. Like
Yes.
my audience, those are my girls, and like they don't even need to really like see you or like know you. Yes, like I want people to obviously know that I'm in a relationship, and I like talking about him because I'm obsessed with him and I love him so much. But like I just never want to tie him like so much to my business, because at the end of the day, like that's my work and that's my business, and I want to keep that like separate from our relationship. Like I want our relationship to be more sacred and like keep that for us. But of course, like he's in things here and there, and like he's so supportive and happy for me, but I think he's just like, yeah, I don't know about like being so in front of the camera, you know? So
it's all a balance.
Yeah.
And maybe one day he'll be like, babe, I'm ready.
yeah.
You know, you never know. And they catch you by surprise when they say random things. Like Christian will say random things to me, and I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah.
And he's like, I mean, only if you want to. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I would love to. Like, of course. But it's like a whole, like, it's like a whole adjusting thing. Like tomorrow we're going to the U.S. Open, and I'm going with a brand, and I was like, you know, do you want to maybe like, we'll take some TikToks and like videos? And he's like, okay, like, all right. And I was like,
he gets prepared.
Yeah.
He's sleeping on it
I'm
tonight.
like, I'm going to let you know now. And he was like, okay, no, I'm excited. Because I was like, all right, I could bring a girlfriend to the U.S. Open, or like I could bring my boyfriend. And I was like, this is a sports event. Like maybe this is something he would enjoy.
I brought my boyfriend with Celsius the other weekend, and like it was so fun.
So fun. So I'm definitely excited for that. How have you stayed grounded in like a long distance relationship? Like what has been your biggest?
I mean, we really are like super regimented about scheduling time together and like planning trips to see each other.
So he's a planner.
I mean, the thing is, like, I say that, and he's, like, very last minute and spontaneous with things, but we just, like, never let it go so long. Like, we're not, like, oh, my gosh, in 3 weeks, we're gonna, like, go on this trip or whatever. Like, he's very much, like, he's in New York now, and he's like, okay, I'm booking a flight to go home tonight. And, like, he's just gonna leave tonight. And, like, but we've been together for the past 3 weeks. Like, he's been in New York for the past 3 weeks. So I feel like we just have like we don't go too long without seeing one another. And on top of that, like when we're apart, we call every day,
of course,
text usually like throughout the day. But like also again, like this goes to my point from before about like I see my life with this person in the future. So like this time for us is just like we'll have to navigate this, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's also like there's benefits to it. Like when we're not together, we're so focused on work and like
100%.
grinding, and you know, I have that time with my girlfriends or whatever it is, my family. So I'm not like I'm just not so stressed about this time because I know there's like an end goal for us, you know?
No, and that's so true. I feel like that's why I'm even so excited to just like move into my apartment by myself, because when I feel like alone and focused, you're grinding with work, and that time apart, you're like, okay, well, I'm now so excited to then see you the next time. And as much as long distance, I'm sure, is so difficult, it probably grows your love for each other like times a million, because then you're so excited to see each other again. But you also just launched a pasta brand. That is incredible. Wait, you need to send me some.
Yes,
I want to try some pasta.
No, you're going to be obsessed.
Wait, so tell me about that. Because your recipes, like you said, are your gift. And that is That's your niche. You love doing that. So how did this come about?
Yeah, so I've always wanted to like have a brand in the CPG space, like snacks or packaged goods. And this was like my first little foray into that space. So we just did a limited run, and it was such a funny backstory because a few years ago I got a PR package from 818 Tequila.
Okay.
And it was a bottle of tequila, and then they had this pasta that was shaped in the numbers of 818. And like each of the individual pieces of pasta were a number. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. It's so nostalgic because like I grew up eating SpongeBob mac and cheese.
100%.
Like I love
or even like the
shapes.
ABCs.
Yep, love it. And so I found the manufacturer who did that for them and reached out to them and just did a limited run of my own pasta. And they're all like really fun shapes. Like we did a flower, a hair bow, and a heart. And
So cute.
It's called Canoodle, which is like just a cute play on words. And yeah, it's just been a fun project. I also think it's like good for my followers to learn that they can buy like packaged food from me, because that's like eventually what I want to do in life, like have my own brand in that space.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was just like a little foray into it, and it's been so fun, like learning about what my followers want and, you know, watching my audience like create in the kitchen with this product. And yeah, it's been really fun, and like I just have loved like the whole process of it.
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
So can you tell all the Casual Chaos listeners where to find you?
Yes. Just follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Kit Keenan.
All right, Kit. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming on
you.
Casual Chaos. This was such a fun episode.
So fun. Thank you.